Champion's been good on these. Enchanter's been good on the engage supports. The Rel is the top available pick. I would have loved to have seen the Blitzcrank, but it would have been way too risky, I think, in this situation. And the Rel here does just round out this bot lane. You're probably not going to be able to win out in the 2v2, but Erha can potentially just go join up with Tian and get onto the game is a dive onto bot lane. They've been using it to great effect, although Bin has been on the receiving end of a lot of the counter plays on the backside of the map. We'll have to see if this is what's going to happen, because right now there are no camps for you in this area. You're going to have to dive to make this worth your time.
Especially, yeah, because Tian's already on the other side of the map. He's getting the faster clear, so now Wei has to respond with a gank here onto Light. The Jhin has no flash, but the Deadly Flourish comes out. On will drop, and so will maybe one more, but the tower aggro was juggled beautifully. It is a 1-for-1 with Elk going down, but it's going to start doing even more damage. You're okay with where we're at, even though technically you're at a deficit.
Just a very slight one at the moment, nothing too worrying, especially not when you're into the sort of composition who's got to find some pretty tricky to hit straight up engages. Jahu needs to run here. Do they know? Yeah, they know. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Jahu has been exposed. Weirding in, nice flash from on.
Nice.
He's going to force the flash away from Jahu as well. Just a little bit of shenanigans up there on the top side. Going to be trying to match here with Bin in a potential 1v2 with Erha and Breeze. Erha's waiting to land that flash. Oh, nicely done for a dodge away from Bin, but Light has arrived to the fight as well. Definitely not going to be a fair one here for Bin. He's able to do a lot of damage back. No more procs to the needlework though, and Erha's going to be the one to pick it up.
A few missed skill shots just there, as now Tian actually flashing forwards in this situation. He's in a 3v1 right now. He doesn't care.
BLG, Weibo, not there just yet to respond, although here comes their bottom lane. 5 grubs immediately picked up here for BLG, so
yeah,
at the very least they're going to get that significant advantage, but it looks like Tian's going to be able to close this one out for his team and make sure that not all of them go over here to the blue side.
Yeah, things going to slow down just a little bit at this point. Though breathing on, actually stepping up.
Oh, Erha on a flank as well, landing that Magnus Storm immediately here onto Bin, and Bin just gets taken down. That's the Feats of Warfare picked up for Weibo Gaming. The first shot of the curtain call will take that away, and Elk gets to flash on out of there, or shift on out of there. A 2-for-0 fight going Weibo's way after giving up 2 of the 3 grubs.
I really thought things were going to slow down just there, but now we see these explosive plays that give over to the majority of top laners, and yet 0-0 right now, just not effective.
It's one of the best top laners in the world. This was our featured matchup of the day coming in. Bin versus Breathe, but right now it's really Bin. Breathe taking control of this one, and a Grand Starfall comes in from Tian, looking to try to take down Elk and On, who once again are overextended for BLG. No flash, no shift. That's Tian getting another kill, and Weibo Gaming once again off to a blazing starting game 2.
That's a really nice bit of layer, a little bit of push down on towards this Mountain Drake. It's the first Drake of the game, and it's 14 minutes into the game. Usually we see these picked up way earlier on. BLG, the saving grace for themselves right now is that they're able to grab this Drake. They're able to grab 5 of the grubs, so the neutral objective step up and face check a brush. Who's able to try to face check around an objective? The answer really is nobody, whereas Weibo, they've got themselves a couple of tankier members. They've got a ton of damage to be able to deal with something like the Jarvan as well. It's a good pick.
Completely thought he was safe, although he was right on a ward once again, using the empowered mantra W to try to get some healing, but it's not enough. His Light shuts him down with the forced shot. Now a teleport comes in for BLG, but it might just be a little bit too late. Knight going to join the fight. We already watched 2 of his players fall by the wayside. Bin already utilizing needlework, so no more ultimate here for the Gwen. Deadly Flourish dodged away from the Ahri. Now the curtain call has been issued. Elk gets hit up by the second and the third. The forced shot will be dodged away from Elk, beautifully getting away from any damage here from the Jhin, but he's not going to get away from the Pantheon, as the Comet Shear will shut him down, and Knight has used his final proc of the Spirit Rush to try to escape as well.
And Knight just about going to be the survivor from all of that bloodbath. Bin even has to cancel his recall right here. A little bit of extra insult to injury, and Weibo, they're just fighting so much better. 8-1 in terms of the kills. They're going to be up by 3,000 gold as well, and it all starts with On thinking that he's safe and just getting a one-tap to right there by Light. So much damage on that 4th shot, and it's again BLG. They don't recognize on the map where they are safe, where they are not, losing track of where the vision is. This is a total team collapse from BLG that we were not expecting. Yeah, we knew that they were on a little bit of slides, but they are getting embarrassed by Weibo so far.
I mean, not even the FPX games, I feel like, look this rough here. And
yeah.
Again, On just not pressing the sweeper, but they're just being really out of position, one or the other.
And it just carries on, right? There's nothing too fancy that happens here. A couple of nice hit skill shots, you know. Very good aggression. Hang on, breathe.
Looking for some sort of opportunity to go for a fight. Airhow does crash down away. Charm does land up to Xiaohu. Between Worlds, though, will get him out again. As Xiaohu continuously, seemingly, gets cut off. But will not be able to go down. He still has not died yet in this game.
No.
And it will come at the cost of this tier 1 tower down to the bottom lane. But Weibo Gaming not losing a life just yet. Still going to be very good for them. Only one death issued. It's On to Light.
Not again On.
And now On's going to get catched out here by Airho, who's looking for a flank. Rift Herald, by the way, also taken on this top side by Weibo Gaming. And Tian can join the fight with a Grand Starfall if he wants. So BLG going to continue to push here onto this tier 2. They at least get that ticket. Use his flash last time the Cataclysm was available for Wei. And here they go. They're going to try it again. Flag and Drag does connect. Nice play here by BLG. They finally get an answer here. Back on to Breathe. And will continue their domination here of the turrets at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, they've now picked themselves up another turret and a kill. They've brought this gold lead back down to only being about 1,000. And this is bad from Weibo, actually. They are not getting involved in this game anywhere near enough. They've kind of allowed the game to start happening to them for a little while. Yes, you lost 5 of the grubs, so the tower taking potential is very potent for BLG, but it's still surprising to see the way that they have conceded so much space, so much pressure across the map when they were winning out on these skirmishes so effectively early on. Now, you can see first items completed on everybody, second item now completed on both Tian and Light, so these two are going to be incredibly strong, and they can potentially go and try to play around this Drake. It's only going to be the second Drake of the game, despite the fact we're 20 minutes in.
Yeah, not really been the focus really for either of these teams. Weibo, the ones that started off, remember BLG were able to pick up first Drake of the game, and so they're okay with just giving this one over. So Weibo controlled this one.
Things have expanded back out once again. 3k the gold lead right now for Weibo.
And that's what has to be the plan here for BLG. If you're going to send somebody out forward in a side lane, you need to have some cover for him, whether it's Wei hovering around the area or maybe On going to push down here. They're looking for Xiaohu, who once again gets rooted up here by the W of On, tries to get into the other side of the ultimate, but actually will not be able to. So finally, Xiaohu is the one who gets caught out here, and BLG once again back on the board with another pick. They're going to head over to this Otacon, and there's nobody on Weibo's side to contest it.
Now we're going to get the Rift Herald popped that's been in inventory for a while for Tian. Bin also potentially could get jumped right here. Obviously, still has the Gwen, is immune, though.
Magnus Storm with so far. Bin trying to outplay a 1v3, but in goes Tian with the Grand Starfall. So it will be a shutdown going on to the Gwen, or just a regular kill, I should say, as Breathe will break open this top lane tier 2 turret. Again, coming at the cost of this Ruinous Otacon. But Weibo still feeling pretty happy about where things are. The gold lead continuing to be in their favor, and they could be very happy if they get a kill here onto Elk and On. The fourth shot is shifted away from as Elk barely is able to dodge away from that one. But another kill in the hands of Weibo Gaming, and they're going to continue to push into the base.
Yeah, they absolutely can. They've got a big wave right here in the top side. They've got a wave pouring in through the mid lane as well. And because the Atakan took so long to take for BLG, they're just not going to be able to get back for this one. Off the back of Atakan picked up for BLG, they're going to lose out on a couple thousand gold. The gold lead expands right here to about 5,000. TP behind coming through. Interesting.
Knight's going to try to cut him off. Already some backs have been channeled. The target right now is going to be Light. He has both summoner spells, waiting to use that charm. It doesn't hit anyway. And now Wei will finally use that Cataclysm, but Light still flashes on out. The flag and drag comes through. Finally, a shutdown will find the way of Wei, but it'll be traded right back as Tian will get one in response. So both AD carry and mid lane are down on opposite sides. Now the junglers are dueling it out. Bin here to try to respond. It'll be a 2-for-1 in favor of BLG, as now Weibo might be the one playing sloppy. But as I say that, Elk gets stunned up here by Era, and Zhao should have enough damage to try to take him down. It'll be the Rel to finish off the kill.
TP also coming in right here. Bin gonna rejoin in this mid lane play.
Now the question is, will BLG feel strong enough to try to fight for that? They could just give it up. because remember, Weibo is still very far away from the soul. But maybe they want to fight it. I don't know. Bin has 2 completed items now, the Nashor's Tooth and the Riftmaker in inventory. You can say the same about all the other carries here for BLG. They want to risk it. Oh, and Starfall comes out. It's going to be Bin caught out here by both Xiaohu and Tian, and Erha on the way as well. They're sending the whole barn in onto Bin. Will McGwen be able to buy enough time? Pops the Shroud, will be immune for a little bit longer. Finally has reached the rest of his team. The needlework comes out, but it's far too late. The kill goes into Tian's arms, and now it's the rest of BLG that are going to try to find this fight in their favor, and they find their first kill into Tian with a nicely used Cataclysm from Wei. But the response from Breathe is big. The Shock Blast takes down the Jarvan, and it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Weibo Gaming.
And they lose out onto their jungler, do Weibo, so that might dissuade the Dragon from going on. Looks like BLG want to keep playing, though.
Oh, on. He walks right into the waiting arms of Erha, and now Knight's in trouble as well. They cancel the backs, but they're just going to die for it. 2 more for Weibo, and it might be 3. A nice engage from Erha. Elk forced to use the Blast Cone away. He dodges away from the Deadly Flourish and tries to use the Q to get them like there's no damage just yet. BLG still feel like they're too far behind. Knight on this, tanky, bruisery Ari build with the Rod of Ages. Elk not fully getting to his 3rd item just yet. Bin dying too early before he can do anything.
By not taking that initial Drake for ages, but now Bin stepping up. We've seen this one before.
Here comes Tian, dashes away, but is not going to dodge away from the stun. Gets away from the Shock Blast though. Bin doing a lot of damage back with the needlework. Trying to answer back here in a 1v2. Meanwhile, the rest of BLG pushing down mid, knowing that they do not have 2 of their members as they are both on the bottom side. With the 5 grubs, BLG are able to get 1 tower back, and Weibo don't get anything in for it. It's going to take a little bit more work. They've been finding some opportunities. Will this be finally the turn that they need? Era's looking for the flank. Not going to be able to find or pop that engage. They want to wait things out just a little bit longer here. A lot of tools at BLG's disposal.
Yeah.
You don't want to utilize any of them yet.
They have to be very careful, Tian. Going to be looking for that initial bit of engage. Elk just has to insta-flash away from him right here.
And that uses the Spirit Guard as well, so now Wei can re-engage here with the Cataclysm. Zhao is the flash away. Tian a half HP. Here comes Bin, looking to do some damage with the needlework. It's a 1-for-1 though, as Tian will fall, but the Gwen will too. The curtain call's been opened up. Era's still looking for 1 more engage. Wei gets hit by the 4th shot, but it's not enough to take him down just yet. Just a 1-for-1 across the map, but everybody on Weibo still just a little bit healthier here. On, looking to try and buy some space here with the Mantra Q, trying to slow down Weibo on their continued push, and they will force BLG to head back to base.
Yeah, the fact that you lose the jungler here in Tian means you really can't keep stepping up into this situation. It was a well-played fight from Bin, actually. He really needed to make that one a 1-for-1, otherwise it was just going to get taken out and probably losing out onto the game. Weibo could have moved up towards the Baron for themselves. Instead, now it's going to be plays right here around the Drake. Tian going to be up in 5 seconds time and does have himself that Grand Starfall, so he can come and rejoin the rest of his team very quickly.
It's going to be the Dragon despite Tian not being there. So Soul Point, Chemtech Soul Point here for Weibo. Even though the Chemtech Soul is not the flashiest one. Yeah, Oak's had a pretty quiet game, but he's suddenly becoming one of the most important parts of this BLG composition. Again, he's been one of the more consistent players on this team despite some of their struggles throughout the later half of this 1st round robin. Now approaching that 4th item, Bloodthirster, still very strong here. BLG considering starting up the Baron, but I think they know better than to do that. As now Weibo hovering around this mid lane. Era's gonna get collapsed upon. He might have gone a little bit too far forward. Wei does have the Cataclysm, but they don't know if they want to fully burn it on just the support. There goes Bin. He dashes forward for a little bit more. They found Light. He still has his flash. Doesn't want to use it just yet. Finally, will issue it once Tether comes out from on.
You can start up the Baron almost immediately as BLG. Oh, they stepped away. They've left
so
it.
Risky, though, because you could lose your whole base if you go a little bit too far. Speaking of, though, you could lose your top laner right now. Bin nearly taken down Breathe with the needlework, plus the tower damage, but now he has to go golden as the rest of Weibo have responded on the bottom side. Bin somehow still alive, pops another QSS to try to keep himself up and healthy, and now here comes Wei. Cataclysm under Light. The Light has no flash. Bilibili Gaming, do you believe the turnaround here in game number 2? Xiaohu will drop. It is a 4-for-0 for BLG.
Oh, BLG, they're going to be able to pull this one back around 50 seconds on the majority of the carries right here. Tian, the only remaining member, and with those 5 grubs and a Gwen, looks like this one is going to be picked up. Yeah, I feel like they can push forwards for the end, right? 40 seconds on Xiaohu, 35 on Light, and you just melt through these towers. We're going to be going to a game 3.
How did the game just end like that? An overextension from Weibo on the bottom lane, and it was Bin and then the rest of the team to finish off this game. Tian has fallen. Nobody's alive. The Nexus is exposed, and we might just be headed to a game number 3. Era's the only member alive to watch his Nexus fall. BLG are gonna even things up at 1.